Hey, this is Thad Joyner, and you're listening to What Thad Thinks, the one and only podcast on the interweb focused solely on what I think. Proud that you're listening today. We are powered by Better Beans Branding, your one-stop shop for commercial and residential design, graphics, branding, construction, and remodel. Yes, capable of everything. Thank you for listening. Hey, good afternoon and welcome to What Thad Thinks, powered by Better Beans Branding. Big shout out to the Better Beans Branding for having me, hosting me, and I guess since I'm the president, I guess I'm thanking myself a little bit. But I think we're on episode 17. We took a week off last week to gather ourselves and to gather items to be named later. But here we are. We are exactly, 10 days away from dropping Neil off in the woods, and pretty excited about that. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast, like us, leave a review. You can catch us on YouTube as well, but really happy that we've got a growing list of listeners. It's been a fantastic run, and looking forward to a great show today. Want to give it's a special day. It's Mr. Ted Wilcox. I like to call him Teddy Ballgame. It's his birthday, head of our signage and install department, and he's probably out in the field knocking out a bunch of work, I'm quite sure. But if he's listening, happy birthday, buddy. And if you have his number, contact information, send my boy Teddy a happy birthday. Also, a big shout out to Cedars Preschool, who's officially opening up location number 3 in 2 weeks, and they have done a fantastic acquisition, put together a really cool acquisition team, and they are loaded for bear. That is location number 3 in 2 years, so that's a lot to be proud of. Also, shout out to Sandy Duguay with Kids Are Kids. We have wrapping up her construction of her remodel, and that has been a long time coming. And it is beautiful, and she is very happy. So shout out to the Better Beans team for getting that done, and also Sandy showing that confidence in Better Beans. So I guess we should bring on the chief victim, Neil, and jump into the show a little bit further. You there, my brother? Wow, new green screen look behind you. That's actually a live video of our home office that we moved into a couple of months ago. That wall is beautiful. It looks pretty every time I come in.
Yeah.
How far have you come, my friend?
About 10 feet.
No, you have come a long way since looking at your plain manila wall at your desk, to the ugly flower pictures, to the
maps,
cheesy signs you put up one time, like on big paper. I mean, to maps that weren't centered properly. I mean, to the real cheesy sheet you had last week that kind of you make different shapes when you move through, till finally this. Much better, sir.
Undoubtedly, this will not be the end of it. Someone will tell me something about lighting on this one. Like, I'm very red today.
I don't really not looking at you. The sign is way more beautiful than you. I am looking at the branding that's behind you.
Yeah.
And that is a good taste of what Better Beans does for our customers. Our interior design team makes fantastic finishes. Our sign team does amazing work. Our graphics team throws those unbelievable colors and things together, and you get the magic that's behind you.
That's right.
Certainly it is a wow factor when you walk into something there. But yeah. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. Excited. Going on a little trip this weekend with my family, and then you and I are heading to Arizona, right?
It's like a last rites for you, these next 2 trips before you head to the woods.
Yeah, sure, if you think. My wife was pretty upset that I bought a bow and arrow.
Did you really buy a bow? What type of bow and arrow did you buy?
Well, I've ordered it. It hasn't arrived. I had to have a conversation with a buddy of mine about whether you need a left-hand bow and arrow or a right-hand bow and arrow. That conversation was with you.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was it with you?
Yeah. It was me.
I have no idea that bows and arrows came in handed. Like which hand?
Well,
So the answer to
why
your
you
question
would?
is I bought a left-handed one.
Well, that's good. What do you plan to shoot with that? How do you plan to clean it? And how do you plan to cook it?
Yeah, I'm not there yet for those answers. I'll shoot whatever's available, and I will cook it with excessive amounts of fire so that I don't get sick. And I haven't figured out cleaning it yet. A couple days ago, I watched somebody clean a goose, and they basically parboil it before they take and defeather it. So in my mind, that's probably how that will go.
That would be fantastic to watch. I'm not going to give you any advice. I will just say go with your gut there. No pun intended.
Right.
Go with your gut. I have secured your tracking phone, and that's been in field test today.
Okay.
So it works to call me to tap out. It works to call 911 if I am slow to get there.
Okay.
I mean, what would you consider too much time to get you when you tapped out? So,
well, it's all based on the emergency, right? If I
you're going to tap out, you're going to think it's an emergency. You're going to think the bear's about to get you, the coyote's about to get you.
Oh well, you better be there.
Are about to get you.
Yeah.
Like, how quickly would you like that reaction time to be? I've got my plan of how far away I am from you, but I want to know what you think.
If it's any of those life-threatening emergencies,
yeah.
I think the original parameters were that you'd be within 20 minutes. Now, if it's tap out because I quit and I've just mentally, then whatever, get there in an hour.
Yeah, I'm definitely within 40 minutes or so is the plan.
That's interesting.
As long as I wake up, too.
Well, I mean, the opposite side of this, too, is it better not be 1 minute over 48 hours. Like, you better be at my campsite at 48 hours and 2 minutes. I will be hungry, and you should bring food and a toothbrush. I'm bringing my toothbrush.
Well, that'll count as an item.
No. Come on.
Yeah. On the show, they use a chewing stick like the old Indians, the Native Americans.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes.
You're not bringing a toothbrush.
All right.
I mean, unless you drop something else you need.
No, I need everything else.
I really do. I mean, I do. I want you to live and have no long-lasting health problems from this. However,
lasting health problems.
However, I would like to see you sick on film. Like you drank bad water and you're just like puking your guts out.
I've done that. That's not fun.
Oh man, you're gonna have to sign a release.
Not signing crap.
You're signing a release. Anyway, 10 days away.
Yep.
What else on your mind?
Lots of things. I mean, lot going on. But look, how are you? Where are you?
That's none of your business. I'm incognito today.
You're that incognito. Okay.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what's on my mind. How about the Braves and baseball?
Yeah, pretty pumped. Moving on to play, hopefully, the Dodgers, and hopefully we beat the living crap out of them and move on to the World Series. I tell you what I'm most proud of in Major League Baseball was, they were one of the first sports to get back started. And as soon as they did, they had the Marlins have to, delay 10 games. And all the critics and scared Corona people were they were saying baseball made a mistake. Baseball was never going to finish their season. Look, they have finished their season with flying colors. People are watching baseball at a much higher rate than NBA or other sports. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of catching fire. I would love it if they let fans in the stands, but they haven't.
I think they are going to. I think they're going to for the NLCS. I heard 11,500 fans. No?
I don't think so. They're not going to be played at home. They're played out in Texas in the bubble.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
But they have made it through the season and shown that this is, conquerable virus. And I'm pretty proud of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's exciting. The watching has been good, and they figured out how to make it still stay compelling, and the games are good. I mean, maybe a little bit more offense than expected.
Not when they're playing the Braves. Braves been shutting everybody out.
Well, Halloween's coming up. Your kids still do Halloween?
I think this may be the first year my oldest opts out. He's 14. No, he opted out. No, they did. They just didn't go with he didn't go with the family last year. He's going with buddies. My daughter still goes with us. This may be one of her last years.
You got a favorite Halloween moment for them?
Favorite Halloween moment? Just those first few years are, always so fun.
Yes, I agree. Is it going to be normal this year for kids in your neighborhood walking around?
I don't think so. I don't think there'll be as many people out, but we'll see, right? I mean, I kind of live in a corner. Not many people come to my house anyway. We put out a big bucket of candy and it's gone within the first 20 minutes because the first teenager comes by, dumps it out. But, yeah, I don't expect normal, but I do expect some people out and about. It'll be one more step back to normalcy when people go out and realize there's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, I've got I'm excited for my youngest. I think she gets it. She's actually excited about it. She obviously didn't get it the first 2 years, so
yep.
This year she will. But hey, I had
enough about what you think.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you watch the vice presidential debate this week?
Yeah, I sure did.
Sure did. Yeah.
I mean, I still just highly doubt that these debates are having much of an effect on anybody. Other than having a major gaffe, nobody's really gaining or losing votes based on it, in my opinion. I don't like the lies. I mean, it appears that there is no ramifications for out and out telling lies. Like, I don't understand that. Like, obviously, former Vice President Biden and Senator Kamala Harris, obviously they have come out and straight up said that they're going to ban fracking. And then they come on and say that they've never said that and that they're for fracking, that they're going to allow fracking. Okay. You're lying. One of those two times you're lying. And these moderators don't call them out for the out and out lies. It's all whoever the incumbent is always really set up to lose. It's like every question is a trial for what they've done, and the person that's running against them, they don't have to run on their record. They run on they live in this mythical world, right? So I heard a great saying. Somebody reminded me. I saw it on Facebook this week. The loudest boos come from the cheapest seats. Like, if you're not having to make the decisions, like, certainly you and I can both rationally think, like a rational speaker, no matter who you're for. Just like I didn't hold President Obama responsible for the swine flu outbreak. Did you?
No.
And so we're not holding President Trump responsible for the coronavirus outbreak.
He did not cause it.
He didn't cause it, and he didn't cause more people to get sick or die. He probably made some good decisions and some bad decisions. He probably had to make 1,000 decisions. Just like our small business owners that are on this call right now. We have to make thousands of decisions. Even when we're told, given information, we're making a decision about what to do about the outbreak. We're making some good ones and some bad ones. But the bottom line is that we're making them. You know, it is very easy to sit in the cheap seats and boo and tell somebody they're wrong. I get that out of the debate. I think Pence is a pretty strong man of character and integrity. You know.
I was glad they got down to debating. I was afraid that it wouldn't be.
You really want to spend some time telling me what you think today, don't you? You like feeling empowered for some reason?
My lighting is right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was better. The other one was, you know, a couple angry old men that are pretty bitter at each other. I actually think the, you know, people are blaming Trump and both of them for kind of being childish in the first debate. To be honest with you, I blame the moderator in the first debate, because at some point he should have just let them go. Let them talk over each other, let them argue, let them fight, let them get it out. But they almost never finished. So there was just never, like, just when you thought they were finishing a thought or finishing in a jab, he would interrupt them. And then they talk over each other. Like, well, just let them fight. Sometimes you just have to let people fight. Sometimes you got to let a situation play out. And they just didn't do that. That was a little disappointing. But I do want to get out of it is that listen to these moderators' questions, and you will see that basically it is a group of people questioning one person's decisions while the other group is not in a position to make a decision. And I'm not saying it just for these debates. I'm saying in past elections as well. It's like always an indictment of the incumbent instead of exploring what new ideas could be. It's basically attacking decisions somebody made. Certainly, like how many, like guesstimate, how many decisions on everything has President Trump had to make this week?
Several hundred.
Or more. And so how many right decisions do you think he made?
Yeah, correct, right? Also several hundred. And wrong ones, right? You're not going to get them all right.
That's right. That's right. And I just wish people in this country would understand that. I think that's kind of gives me the, you know, I'm pretty strong in my political beliefs, but I'm also pretty strong in thinking that people have good intentions, and they may just make wrong decisions. And I may adamantly disagree with them, but I do believe that they're making them for what the vast majority of politicians are making these, or people in leadership, period, are making these decisions from a good place. The only thing that pisses me off is when people don't make decisions. Someone in leadership that kicks the can down the road or passes off responsibility. So remember, business owners, since we're trying to give you some takeaways from this, don't be afraid to make decisions. Make them, and don't listen to your critics. Listen to the people close to you that are giving you strong feedback both ways, but listening to the boos and the people that, you know, are judging you in hindsight, well, yeah, I mean, come on. That's pretty easy to do.
Well,
something like coronavirus that, heck, I mean, we heard estimates of 5 million people were going to die from it in the United States. I mean, those were the estimates. Those were estimates by some people. And some people estimated that not very many people would die from it. So, I mean, it's somewhere in between. So the person that said that 5 million people were going to die, they would have to think that Trump and his team made a lot of great decisions. They don't necessarily feel like that, because they'll say, the argument you get is, well, 200,000, if it was your grandmother, would you be upset? Well, yeah, but not with the president. I'm not upset with leaders over this situation. Anyway, don't be afraid to make decisions. They're not all going to be right.
Great. Talk about another fight. Second round of stimulus. Is it going to happen or not, and what's the cost?
Some level of stimulus will certainly happen, I'm sure. The cost will be heavy on our debt load. Our country's in too much debt. I am in a favor of no stimulus. That's my vote. We need to let some companies fail and let some people get back to work. I mean, you would see. I mean, employment's been coming back at a massive clip. So, but you would see unemployment even more massive if everybody had to go back to work.
Well, if you have work, you don't need a stimulus.
Well, yeah, unless you just want to stay home.
All right. Well, I
You're
want to
very
talk.
slow on the topics today. I mean, this is a horrible transition.
You know what? I'm coughing, and I'm trying my best not to cough. But if you could see in front of me, which you can't only see behind me, someone in the other room is making toast or something, and the office is full of smoke.
Are you sure they're making toast or are they smoking?
I don't believe that anybody.
Who's in the office?
Katie Lee, Ashley, and Nyasia.
Is Nyasia smoking?
Pardon me?
Is Nyasia smoking?
No, someone has really burnt some toast or something.
Who burnt the toast?
I mean,
I want you to ask out loud who burnt the
You
toast.
want me to ask? Hey, who's burning something?
This is awful. Who is it?
No one's answering.
I want to know live on air. Tell them you're live on air. Thad wants to know who burned the toast. I mean, come on, guys. We're on podcast.
Nyasia set her lunch on fire.
Nyasia set her lunch on fire.
That is exactly.
Live on podcast, Nyasia. I told you it was Nyasia smoking. She's our newbie. Oh, my God, you're in horrible shape. Are you going to be able to finish this?
Yeah. Okay. I've got the door closed.
Okay, well, your transitions are awful.
Well, hey, listen, obviously we're a little bit into politics here. And last week, President Trump was hospitalized, and it made me really get started thinking down the path of succession planning and what that means for, obviously that could have had an implication on our country, but what does that mean for small businesses? They're thinking about who's in charge when something happens.
Well, it's a great topic for succession planning, and I guess our forefathers really thought about that when they laid out our Constitution. So many small business owners out there have not thought about this enough in many ways. And your succession planning should mirror or it's just as important as having a will for your family. And so many small business owners do not have this. So I am going to give you some good takeaways, some good homework. This is not going to be inspirational homework. This is going to be administrative homework that each of you need to do. Number one, you need to picture yourself. I mean, you got to picture yourself that you're gone tomorrow, unable to make decisions. Either you're dead, you're incapacitated. Any of these could happen tomorrow. And what happens to your business when that happens? So I'm going to tell you what you need first is a buy-sell agreement of some sort. So insurance is a great thing to fund the unlikely event that you are gone or a partner is gone, or even if you're like an absentee owner, a key employee passes away. And so, one insurance that I think is important that you have in place is called Key Man Insurance. And this is good for if you have a CEO that runs your business or some kind of regional manager that runs your business, that if they were to die tomorrow, you have serious problems. Like they know where, the money is and the accounts are, and they keep up with everything. Like it's going to be very hard for you to step into their place without having them there to talk you through it. So it will be expensive to not only replace them, but also replace all the time and effort and energy and money it takes to find things. So Key Man Insurance is a small life or small disability insurance that you can have in place, and you are the beneficiary in case a key man passes away. And that can go vice versa. So I could have Key Man Insurance on Neil for Better Beans. He could have it on me as well. So the way we kind of do it with Better Beans is we have a buy-sell agreement. If I were to die, there's going to be enough life insurance in place for the Better Beans partners to buy me out. If we should, I should have Key Man Insurance in place that if Neil were to die, that I have enough money to find his replacement. We have it set up right now where I've just made the decision where I can step in for him without there being too much trouble. But we're kind of moving past that. So, but every year you kind of have to make that decision, just like you would with your own will. You should relook at your plan each and every year. So as in years past, I've said, you know what, I can handle, I know all these customers. I can step in for him without there being too much trouble. I do not need Key Man Insurance. Probably for next year, I will need the Key Man Insurance, which means if Neil were to die, that there'd be, $250,000 for me to search for the right person, to hire somebody. It basically means Neil's worth more dead than he is alive. So that's the first one. The Key Man, I should absolutely get this in place before next week. But yeah, so, and the buy sell, for partners, for your wife, for your husband, all those things, those are things that you should have in place. If you don't already have a succession, but also having a straight up succession plan is important. So, that if you were to die, who's supposed to take your spot, who's supposed to move on. But it all kind of comes down to funding, and the more funds you have, the more insurance and money you have to make those changes, the better. So the first one is Key Man and buy sell. Talk to your financial planner, your insurance agent, your attorney about setting up these deals for you. The next thing that I think is important for business owners when they're thinking succession is that it should be clear, and it should be made clear now what the plans are to everybody that's involved. Don't let some attorney like in a movie come in and tell everybody, okay, so Jordan, you're the new CEO, and that'd be a surprise to Neil. Don't leave problems to happen in a room. Make sure everybody knows and everybody's comfortable. They know what happens if, you were to die. Or be incapacitated. That way, there's no surprise, no jealousy going on at a later date. You don't want any of that. The next thing I think that's important that you should do is in your safety deposit box, on your computer, email to 2 or 3 different key people. Every 3 months, you should be updating your list of contacts, account numbers, passcodes, and all of those items. So email might not be the best way. There's some more secure ways to do it. But you should have a list of every single account you have, logins, passcodes, etc. And someone should have those in their hand. As well are your key people when this happens. So who are your key partners when this happens? So for me, my key contacts are, number one, my estate attorney. So my estate attorney has all my wills and all that kind of fun stuff. So if I were to die, my wife has this list of contacts, this whole plan she's got to follow, this little checklist I gave her that I give her every 3 months. It says, okay, here's our estate attorney. You call her first. Let her handle what she handles. Follow her instructions. The next one is my business attorney. You call the business attorney and you let them know what happens so that he can update you on everything, all the operating agreements, all the companies, all those kind of things. He knows where everything is. You call him next. The third person is you call our accountant. You make sure our accountant knows where all the money is, knows, can write checks, all these kinds of things. Which that brings up another one. We had a friend whose mom died. And he could not access the money. He was next in line he was left the business, but he was not a signer on the bank accounts. And so he could get to no money to pay vendors. You make damn sure that 2 people can sign those checks. Okay. So for me, my accountant is the other signer on my account. So if, things were to go bad, she can sign all the checks. That would be the next one. The next one would be your insurance, your life insurance agent. and any other insurance agents. They need to know about it ASAP. Find out about any money, any applications for payment, all those kind of fun things. Get with insurance agents next. Get with your financial planner if you have one, stockbroker, financial planner, all those things. Make sure they understand that you follow all their protocols, and they have that phone number. And lastly, for me especially, and for all you business owners out there, you need to have a business broker, right? The person that can list your business for sale. And, I'm not saying that's what you do, because you're going to have a written plan, but you need to have a written steps for your succession that goes into somebody's hands. For me, that goes straight to a business broker who will look for buyers of your companies. So who can list them for sale. So that's the way I would go on succession planning. To recap, key man, buy-sell agreements, your list of contacts, your checklist, and I'm assuming that you all have a will and a living will for your family, but if not, you add that in there too. But that's where you need to go with succession planning. What do you think, Neil?
That's a good topic. I can tell you that you can probably examine the same thing in your household the same way.
Well, that's what I just did.
Helpful to
That's
me.
why we don't ask you what you think. Well, thanks for joining me today, Neil. And we will see you soon. It's now time for What Thad Thinks. Bye, Neil. Hey, well, I haven't done this in a while, but today is a lightning round. I've got we're doing one versus another, just like a debate style would be. And I will quickly go through lightning round, which is by popular demand from our chief of design, Ashley Walker. So here you go. Best TV sitcom of all time. I've got Cheers over Seinfeld. Cheers over Seinfeld. Do yourself a favor. Cheers is on Netflix. Watch it. Cheers over Seinfeld. We talked about it before, but customers more important than employees. Customers over employees. The Godfather Part 1 over Casino is best mob movie. Godfather over Casino. Coke over Pepsi. That's in a landslide. Beach over the mountains. Beach over the mountains. But I got snow skiing over water skiing. I've got hunting over fishing, beer over wine, whiskey over vodka, rye whiskey over bourbon. I've got sales over profits. Guys, that is your lightning round. Make sure you have your head down, guys. The election is coming soon. Be ready for anything. Do not panic. Have your plan in place. If things tank, have your plan in place. If one party wins over another, understand there will be consequences to the election, one way or another. Be ready for either side. Thank you. That was What Thad Thinks this week. Please join us. Should be plus or minus a day every Friday at 11:59. A little late on this one, but hey, plus or minus a day. Give us a break. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining. Adios.